Okay, I'm gonna try this again because now I have access to Wi-Fi. And before I didn't, so it glitched and I deleted it. Well, good morning, y'all. On this Wednesday morning, I'm in freezing cold Texas. It's like 48 degrees, so I'm bundled up, which is not really my comfort. I like to be in as little and few clothes as possible. But that is not what I'm going to do in 48 degree weather. So I just wanted to hop on here this morning and talk to you about the stories we tell ourselves. And so the truth of it is, we do things when we're ready to do them. And we do things because we come to a point when, like, it's the right time to do them. The problem that I've gotten myself into so many times is that I attach this really not true story to it. You know, a story that's full of crap, and then I convince myself that it's true. You know, when my children were small and everything felt overwhelming because my husband traveled for work, I blamed my inability to go after everything that I wanted to go after because of my responsibility. I was like, I have so much responsibility. How could I possibly do it? How could this be the right time? And it wasn't the right time, but it wasn't because I had a ton of responsibility. Because if we're honest with ourselves, the truth is that once you go after your dreams, the responsibilities increase. Like, you have more responsibility. You know, I still have my family to take care of. I still have a husband who travels and kids who need me. So it's not like, oh, well, now I don't have any responsibility, so I can attack my dreams. That's not the case. It's just I made a commitment to stop using responsibility as an excuse for a lack of results, for a lack of going after my dreams. Because I'm always going to be responsible for those babies and for me and for my happiness and for my dreams. And going after them is going to create more responsibility. So the truth was, it just wasn't the right time because I was prioritizing small children at the moment. And now I feel like my children are a little bit more independent. I can walk away for 5 minutes to do a Facebook Live. Now, if I wanted it bad enough when my kids were little, I could have figured it out. That's truth. There are plenty of people who have huge amounts of responsibility, who are going after their dreams, and who have small children. It's just that I didn't feel like I had the capacity to do that when my children were little. I didn't feel available to take on more. And then I told myself all these things about how I couldn't, and I wasn't good enough, and I wasn't worthy, and how come other people have it and I don't. Those were not true. It was just that I had a limited capacity, or I prioritized differently than I do now. Right now, in addition to caring for the people I love, my dreams are a priority. My wishes to fulfill my purpose are a priority. That's what's different. That's the truth. I'm not any more capable than I was. I'm not any smarter or more worthy or more valuable than I used to be when my children were small. It's just that I have reprioritized my life in order to be able to fit this dream of mine and make it work. It was just a shift in perspective and mindset, in responsibility and priorities. So you fire when you're ready. You know, you grow your capacity to kind of say, okay, now I'm in this phase of my life. I'm not in the diaper phase anymore. I'm not in the stay up all night and cradle a newborn baby. It's tough. And anybody who tells you it isn't hasn't lived it. But, Glennon Doyle always says we can do hard things. So yes, my kids are a little bit older. I mean, they're 9 and 12. They're not grown. They still need me. And my husband still travels for work. Now, can they feed themselves? Yes. I mean, ish. Can they, can I now say verbally, hey, entertain yourselves for 30 minutes and I'm going to go work or I'm going to go on Facebook Live? Yes. So for me, this felt more possible. It felt more possible to prioritize my dreams when I felt like they were a little bit more independent of me. Now, in order to accomplish what I am on a mission to accomplish, I had to leave. Well, I didn't have to. I chose to leave a salaried teaching position, where you have a guaranteed paycheck every 2 weeks, and my family could count on that income coming in. And so once again, I decided to prioritize what I wanted and say, it's a little scary to leave that salary. It's a little scary to walk away from a sure thing, but I prioritize this dream above security. I'm ready to take a risk I wasn't ready to take 10 years ago. I have confidence in myself that I did not have 10 years ago. I love myself in a way I did not love myself 10 years ago. That's the truth. That's the real reason why my dreams are being worked on now, and why, 10 years ago I was just a big hot mess and I said all the things I wanted. Oh, I wish I had this and I wish I had that. But I wasn't actively creating a life that allowed for those things to be possible. And so it was just whining, really, because it makes you feel better. It makes you feel like the reason you're not going after your dreams is not your fault. It's totally a crutch, right? Well, how can I? My kids are small. Well, how can I? My husband travels. Well, how can I? I have a full-time job. So I was hiding behind my responsibility, using it as an excuse for a lack of results. And I made a choice that in order for me to feel happy, I needed to go after the things I wanted, which required me to reprioritize my responsibilities and include myself as a responsibility. Yes, I have to care for a family, but I have to care for myself as well. And so it's amazing. I didn't gain more hours in the day. There's still 24 hours in a day, no different than there was 10 years ago. It's just that now I own the time. I tell myself this is for them and this is for you. Because now what that allows me to do is stop hiding behind the responsibility, We all have them. They never go away. So if that's your excuse for not reinventing yourself, well, you just be committed to it 100%, because it's an excuse that's never going away. So, it's not like, oh, well, when my kids, in 5 years when my kids are older, my responsibility, I will have less responsibility. No, you don't. No, you don't have less responsibility. So it's all about choice. And what my call for you today is, what my message for today is, it's okay to not be ready. It would have just been so much easier 10 years ago to have an honest conversation with myself, instead of being that poor me and telling everybody all the reasons why it couldn't be done. It would have just been nice to have a conversation with myself and say, listen, There are no excuses. However, you seem to think you have a lot of reasons. You seem to think your children are too small, and you seem to think you need a little bit more confidence and self-love. So when we get to a point in which your kids are a little bit older and you feel stronger and you feel like you have more capacity to give and to receive, then we'll make your dreams come true. And that would have been a great conversation, because what it would have done is it would have allowed me to see that it was coming, like, okay, I'm not ready yet. I'm worthy enough, smart enough, good enough. It's just that this isn't the exact divine time. So when that time comes, right now I'm going to put all the pieces of the puzzle on the table so that when I feel more open, I'll be able to put the puzzle together. But I didn't have that honest conversation with myself. I was just beating myself down, which was making me feel worse about myself and causing me to hide behind excuses, such as responsibility was the reason I had a lack of results. And so now, let me know if you're here. For some reason, the comments aren't coming up. I see numbers as always, but no comments. And now I'm just choosing to make myself part of the responsibility that I have, right? And therefore, I make time to pursue my purpose and my mission. That's it. So tell yourself the truth. I'm not ready right now, and here's why I don't feel ready. Is there anything I can do in this moment to feel more ready? Do I have the capacity in this moment to feel more ready? Am I open? Is there something I can do to become more open? And, my son read me a story yesterday about the acorn growing into an oak tree. And the title of the poem was like, little by little, day by day, this tiny little acorn turns into this absolutely magnificent oak tree. And my son, who's only 9, said, "It's just like you, Mommy." And I said, "What do you mean, just like me?" And this brilliant little baby said, how you just are starting reboot your life, and little by little, you're just working on it. And then soon people will be like, "Oh, look, that little acorn has sprouts." And he told me and had me believing that I was this acorn on its way to becoming a beautiful oak tree. Hi, Jason. And it made me cry because he saw the message, he read this little story at school and he saw his mommy in it. He saw someone who was afraid and just at the beginning of something really important. And he was like, "It's okay, Mom. You're just becoming an oak tree." I love that kid. So you're just becoming an oak tree. And, even if the acorn said "But I want to be an oak tree tomorrow." The oak tree can whine all it wants about the acorn could whine all it wants about wanting to be an oak tree. But if it's not time, it's not time. But what the acorn doesn't do is tell itself, you're not good enough. You're just a little acorn. Nobody likes acorns. Acorns suck. That is not how he becomes an oak tree. He just knows he will be. An acorn just knows it will become an oak tree. So it just understands it takes time. This is the process. And if I could have this me go back to the me of 10 years ago and sit in front of her and say, "Listen, I hope I didn't get lost." And say, "Listen, you're just not an oak tree yet. But it's out there. It's coming. Your kids are small and you're not ready. Calm down. You worry too much. Believe in yourself. start loving yourself, start getting a little bit better each day so that when you're planted, you have the nutrients that you need to become a healthy, beautiful oak tree. But instead, I would like keep planting the seed and pulling it out and planting it and pulling it out. Like, you're not good enough. Okay, go. You're not good enough. Okay. Like, if you take a seed out of the dirt and plant it and take it out and plant it and take it out, it never has the opportunity to grow. Just leave it in there. Let it do what it's supposed to do. So I know that you, especially as moms and dads, have so much responsibility, and I know that you, sorry, not wearing a mask and I'm walking, so I'm trying to, okay. I have a mask. And I know that you feel like it's so much right now, you know, like you see all these people talking about 6 figures and dreams and writing books and blah, blah, and you're in that place right now where you're like, oh, it's so annoying. How are they all doing this? And you've got maybe small kids at home and life just feels tight. Listen, tell yourself, remind yourself that responsibility is not an excuse to hide behind. It's a time, it's a moment in the life cycle of you. This too shall pass. And right now, I honestly do not have the capacity, and that's okay, because I will. I'm going to make a promise to myself that I will grow a little each day and pry open a little bit more space each day in my spirit, in my heart, in my mind. I'll do a little bit of mindset work each day. I'll do a little bit of exercise each day. I'll do a little bit of crying or laughing each day to open up my heart, my space, and to turn into who I want to be and meant to be. And that's it. I don't have any clue where I am, just so you all know. I might have lost. No, this is a cul-de-sac. Okay, I'm good. Jason, thanks for watching. Let me know how you guys resonate with this. Let me know if you guys find yourself either past this, where you're like, okay, I'm in it. I'm growing. I've planted my seed. I'm turning into the beautiful oak tree. Or if you're like, I don't see how that could ever happen for me. And let me know, and we can work through it. Just don't forget to have loving and honest conversations with yourself, okay? If you're gonna lie to yourself and be mean to yourself, you can't expect the world to show you all its fruits, you know? You tell yourself that there are no fruits, nothing sweet in your life, but where are you looking for fruit? Stop trying to prove yourself right when you're not telling yourself the truth. Stop telling yourself that you're not lucky enough or good enough or smart enough. Stop telling yourself that these things are for other people and not you. And instead, ask better questions. Say, how come I don't have this yet? It's available to everyone and I don't have it yet. Where am I blocked? Where am I not ready? Where can I show myself more love and more grace and more compassion? Knowing that there's got to be a more honest answer if you feel a sense of lack. Because the truth is that it's all available to everyone. Period. That's it. That's truth. And whether you're ready to hear it or not, that's how it is. So I love you guys. I made a promise to, I'm in a really amazing group, 30 Days of Hustle with Lakeisha Michelle and a posse of amazing and wonderful women who have agreed to keep me accountable for going live every day this week. And so that's what I intend to do. I intend to come on every day and share And, you know, that's the other piece of it, knowing that you can ask for help, knowing that you don't have to do it alone, knowing that there are people who will agree to support you if you ask. Again, when you're all by yourself and you don't reach out and then you go, see, I'm all by myself. You're just trying to validate the lies that you're telling yourself. See, no one loves me. And so if I was sitting across from you, I would say, well, who have you reached out to today? Who have you shown love to today? It's not just about sitting and waiting for it to be given to us. It's about giving what we want. You want abundance? Go out and give abundance. You want kindness? Go out and give kindness. You want love? Go out and give love. So when you're sitting with yourself, telling yourself all the things you do not have, ask yourself, how much of that same very thing did you give today? How much of what I'm looking to get from the world did I put out into the world today? And if the answer is nothing, zero, zilch, nada, then be honest with yourself and say, how can I expect to receive something that I'm not giving of myself? Because what happens is when you start to give what you're looking for, when you start to put yourself out there and be vulnerable and be just a little bit, when you raise your belief that it's all out there, and when you raise your belief that it's going to come back if you give it, and just release it to the world and go, you know what, whether it comes back or not, here's my love, here's my kindness, here's my service, you will see your life change. And I say that not because it's hocus pocus. I say that not because I read it in a book, although it does say that in my book. But I say that because I've lived it. I've watched my life change. And it didn't change because some meteor came from heaven and hit me in the head. Like, it wasn't a big change. It changed just like the acorn story I told you. It changed little by little and day by day. And I firmly planted my seed in the ground and trusted that this acorn had all the intelligence and knowledge and wisdom that it needed to become an oak tree. And once I planted it, I trusted. I didn't keep checking on the seed in the ground, because every time you uncover it, you disturb it. So once you plant it, you have to trust it and say, I believe. And then you actually encourage it to grow, and you get excited for it to grow. And then each time something develops, each time a little sprout comes out, or each time it comes out of the ground a little more, you get so excited because you're like, yes, it's working, you're growing. And you speak nicely to it, and you tell it how excited you are, right? You don't say, gosh, you're such a sucky acorn, you're taking so long. So I did mention a lot about the title of this video, but I know that I also went off tangent. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Nicole. And said a lot of other things as well. But I hope that it all made sense. Thank you, Nicole. And I hope that I miss you too. I had so much fun with your kids playing volleyball. It was so nice. I hope I touched your heart. And I hope that if you're in the seed phase of your life, thank you, Jason. You're such an awesome guy, and I'm so excited about that, about seeing your book and the evolution of all the things. Jason, post a link to your book so people have access to it. Jason is an author as well. He's a friend of mine from long ago, and he has The Magic of Mayfair, and he also has children's books that he's written, and you should follow him and you should look into it. He talks a lot about mental health and about very similar topics to myself. So go to his page, look him up on Facebook, friend him, and hopefully he'll post the link here. If he doesn't, I will. They'd make great gifts for kids. If you're thinking about, there's no better gift to give a child at Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever you celebrate, I think, than a book. And if you're going to give them a book, you should give them a book that has a message to it. And the message right now for 2020, for this holiday season, that you want to be giving is the one that Jason writes about. So consider that as presents for your kids, please, please. And that's it, guys. My heart is so full, and I feel like I have so much to say. So don't be surprised if you see me a few times the next few days, but you'll definitely see me at least once a day, because like I said, I have some people holding me accountable, and I honor that and I respect that. So you will see me. Bye bye.